All right, gentlemen, we will call it the MPC to order at 1:03. Any agenda additions and or looking for approval? Any from the board, the commission, any from? Okay.
Just hold on a moment, please.
Slowly, Ernie, we're thinking. RMA, we have to play music for you. There you go.
Yes, McKay subdivision.
Choose your microphone.
Something to do that we were requesting something back from the McCabe subdivision. I forget what the hell it was, but I know you'll help me.
Okay.
It'll come to me.
I'm not sure I do understand. So is that should be under camera, in camera, or is it in?
Just under additions.
Okay. Okay, so we will put it under old business 10.1. Okay. Seeing that, I'll get a motion from you to move the agenda with that one addition. All right, thank you, Mr. Clark. All those in favor? That's carried. Minutes from February the 26th, seems like a month ago almost. Page 3, everybody had a chance to pursue, read any errors, omissions in that. I see some squinting of eyes over there. We're good, looks good. Mr. McKay, I'll get a motion then to accept those as presented. All those in favor? That's carried, thank you. No business arising from said minutes. We have no introductions. We have no development permits, which is sad. So we are going to go straight into subdivision. Page 8 of your package and 2025-02 Hill. And I take it, Mr. Teal, you're taking this. You have no friends.
It wouldn't be fair. So sorry, only subdivisions this time. Just poor lonely subdivision.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So page 12 will bring up our site plan. Thank you very much, Andrew. So this application is a first parcel out of a quarter section. It's very along our west boundary with Lacombe County, and across the north is Highway 601 for the immediate access. And then our shared road 22-0 with Lacombe County on the west side. The application is to basically remove the existing house and existing buildings and treed area from the parcel with a very long angular driveway as a first parcel out. It'll combine all the land within the pink area, including the driveway, comes to around just a little under 10 acres and does fully encapsulate, if we go to the next page, the existing open discharge system, more or less. I think there's one or two of the lines we may be a little close, so the surveyor may have to confirm it when they get out there in the field. It's as they hack through the trees to find where that boundary should be. And beyond that, there's no concerns from the administration in terms of this particular application. It meets their MDP requirements in terms of size when you take into account the need of the setbacks from the open discharge. It is the first parcel out, so we don't have an issue around titles. There's no municipal reserve or dedication owing. There is the need for road widening along Range Road 22-0 on the west side, so there's a condition attached to that for a road acquisition agreement. Highway 601 is not in our jurisdiction, so the province has to look after their own widening, and they have signed off on allowing the existing access continue and have signed off on allowing us to continue on with the subdivision with the necessary variances under the matters related to subdivision and development regulation. Conditions you'll find on page 12, just quickly refer to those, and they're quite straightforward in this case. It's basically do up your plan using a surveyor, make sure your taxes are current, and then the last one is the the road acquisition agreement for 5 meters along the west side of the entire quarter section. In terms of rural development fund, they have, depending on your interpretation of tree and shelter belt, they have pretty much maxed out their, come close to maxing out the 10-acre max we would allow. But there's another area that's clearly part of the pasture, and staff have kind of knocked that off as agricultural land. And that's why you see a recommended contribution based on half an acre in the amount of $500. With that, Mr. Chair, I'd be happy to field any questions.
Are there any questions or concerns with this one? Are there any thoughts? Mr. McKay and then Mr. Stephen.
Yeah, this goes back to other ones that we've done in the past. It's too bad that
these acreages weren't at a fence line or something, being out in the middle there, it sure cuts up the quarter quite bad. But it is what it is, and I just see maybe a problem down the road if that should be sold off the rest of the land with that driveway going through there. That's just a little concern. It's no big deal, but it is what it is.
Okay, Mr. Stevens?
I'll move it.
And Mr. McKay, I agree with you. It'd be nice if we had the nice symmetrical subdivisions, but we don't always have that option. I get the idea of these folks being in the middle of the.
Oh, I get it too. Yep.
Mr. Grover?
They probably wanted to put that house where they wanted to put that house.
Yeah. No, 100%.
Absolutely.
And they own a quarter. I have no problem with this. It's nice to see a bunch of trees like that.
Okay.
Down in my area, they buy them. Strip it right there.
Okay. So we have a motion on the floor to accept it with conditions as mentioned. All those in favor? And that is approved. Okay. Next up is 2025-03 bus routes.
Sketch, please, Andrew.
26 of our package.
Okay, so this application is a second parcel of this quarter section. A little bit of this Highway 601 theme. So it's along the south boundary this time around. There's an existing acreage out in the lower right, in the southeast corner that you can see that's not kind of bounded by the orangish dashed line. And then immediately north of that, in the pink area, is proposed shape and size of a new, just under 10-acre parcel. The acreage area you can see there's a little within the proposed parcel, about a 3-acre block of land that's highly defined in the air photo with the trees. And our air photo is from 2021, so the existing manufactured home that you see in that area has been removed, and the applicant intends to still, upon approval, put another house back in, but more in the southwest corner of that treed area as opposed to the northeast, which means with the open discharge, if we can go to the next page, please. The proposed location is shown thus, just beyond the trees, and the house would have to be outside of that inner ring. The parcel, it doesn't look like it can make the 180, but it's not a perfect rectangle. It's purposely chosen to cut the corners as much as you can to keep down just below that 10-acre mark. But it does fit, and that would be subject to confirming at the time of surveyor that you can make the setbacks. This one does face municipal reserve dedication because it is a second parcel out. So that would be 10% of the parcel being proposed. So about 0.95 of an acre, and using our current rate of $2,428 per acre, it's just a shave under $2,400 is in the condition as a contribution. In terms of the Rural Development Fund, this parcel is not able to benefit from the full 10 acres that theoretically would be allowed. Most of it is pasture land and ag land, and the only area that staff would have considered as part of the farmstead removal would be the immediate treed area. So we've treated this as a new bare land parcel, which is the first 5 acres pays $50, and every acre thereafter faces the $1,000 an acre charge. So that means an RFD, or sorry, a Rural Development Fund contribution, probably in the neighborhood of about $4,500. If we go to page 30, find the conditions. So the conditions here are a little bit more elaborate than the other because we do have to articulate how we arrived at the MR calculation. So that's what number 3 is about, and arrives at that $2,313 amount. If we continue on, we do have some issues around the approach, just to confirm that they meet our policy and have good sight lines. But we do need a new approach for the balance. We also have some brushing issue, which is how we arrive at condition number 5. And then finally on number 6, it's along the east side of this particular quarter section. We didn't get road widening past the first parcel out in the corner, but there's still an opportunity to get a road acquisition agreement for the rest of that frontage through the proposed parcel and the remainder parcel extending north. So that's why that condition has been added. And that is, I'd be happy to field any questions on this application, Mr. Chair.
Anything that is, okay, I've got lots. Go ahead, Mr. Tender.
I just wondering, like in front of that property, is there a decent road? Does it meet the qualifications, say, like of the county?
That'd be Range Road 201.
It's actually a pretty decent road then. I think we recently, like when I say recently, it was improved not that long ago.
Not sure the winter photos will do it justice. We have a
I guess
picture.
it is, it looks
Like
like
it is extended beyond where the buildings are.
Um, That's, yeah, if you've driven it, Ernie, I think you would know, it's quite a high road, actually. I think like seems that the elevation seems to be going up right there.
when he zoomed in on the picture, it seemed like it was just about to where the buildings are now. And it does then just about extend up to there.
Well, it looks like there's some overhanging brush further on down. But if you look at their approach, they've got a big approach there, actually.
Okay. Oh, satisfied. Thank you.
And Mr. McKay?
That was part of my question. Again, going back to acreages, it would be nice to see them squared up instead of this oddball size thing, but that's my opinion.
This one is about as close as you get using the water on the backside, I guess.
Right.
And Mr. Stevens?
I'll move it with staff recommendations.
Any questions or concerns with what we have in front of us? All those in favor? It's carried. Thank you. Page 43 of our package, 8.1, department report.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We're not at one of the quarter marks, otherwise you get the more elaborate report. So this is kind of just the list of applications that have come through the department over the course of the last month. Or actually, sorry, this one actually would give you the full snapshot for the entire year at 2501 to where we're at today. It is a slower year so far in terms of permits being formally processed. And actually, for the first time this year, we're trying to, just maybe, we'll see how this goes. We're trying to track how many inquiries we get through the two development officers in relationship to how many development permits that actually translates to. We'll see what we get by maybe the half year point in the year or later on. So still early in the year, so I wouldn't read too much into that in terms of lots of time for catch up, especially as people start seeing their land again as the snow melts away. We already have noticed an uptick in inquiries and phone calls. Try to field some questions, but I may have to promise to get back to you depending on which one you want to talk about.
Any questions for Mr. Teal? Okay. Mr. Stover?
And then I'll move that the report be accepted for information.
Okay. All those in favor? It's carried. Excellent. 9.1, referral from Red Deer County, 45 of our package, gentlemen.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So this is a referral that came in from Red Deer County. They're looking at making a change to the municipal development plan, and relatively straightforward change. You can see it fully on the screen in front of you. And it's to deal with a policy they have on their support or their approach to renewable energy projects such as wind, solar, or geothermal. And they're switching the operative word, the shall support, to a may to give them more latitude on responses on those types of projects. The recommendation from staff is to thank them for the opportunity to offer comments, and that we have no concerns or objections about their proposed change.
So the way it read, their hands would have been tied if they would have brought that solar system in. Their hands would have been tied to vote that way then.
I can't, Mr. Chair, I can't speak to how their council has chosen to respond to the projects, and there have been projects within their jurisdiction, but I'm reading between the lines. That's how I would look at this proposed amendment, is that they may have encountered a few that they wish that they could have participated in the AUC process and said, we're not keen on this one, but then someone would just throw their existing policy back in their face that says you shall support it. And that could just be a sign of the times. I think, as Andrew was observing earlier today, when we were talking about it, that since the time that they did their MDP, it's also changed that the AUC, courtesy of the government, now does listen to municipalities more than us having to go beg cap in hand to get standing. So that too may have motivated the change. But I also didn't have a chance to talk to their planners directly about what they're doing.
So I guess my next one is, how is ours reading? Is it shall or may?
Ours actually doesn't speak to it at all. So we pick through a different set of policies on impact on agricultural land, how we approach non-agricultural use and development and economic development, how we talk about infrastructure, how we talk about growth management. So there's no express policy similar to this within our current MDP. In the context of our land use bylaw, we do have private and public utilities as a permitted use within the agricultural district. So that covers the easy ones, are like oil, or actually, it's probably a good example. Power lines, that's not a good example either, doesn't need a permit. It doesn't come very often, obviously. So that would look like a little bit like the AUC approval as well, that we're kind of bound by whatever decision they give us. And the option would be to switch that down to a discretionary use. But right now, that's as close as we come to a shall policy, is the fact that we decided to treat that as permitted use, which means theoretically the staff could deal with it, or the staff, mostly, and as you already know, for some of our projects that we're dealing with, we'll use the other provision of the bylaw that lets us decide to bring an application to MPC for decision instead of dealing with it at the staff level.
Because I kind of want to have it in time come, okay, when we can have these solar panels coming in, and my hands are going to be hogtied, that I have to go with them. I want to be able to vote freely the way I want to, but I bloody well do it.
Okay. You'll have opportunity over the course of the next 2 years, I think, Mr. Gender, to influence our go forward plan. Questions or concerns?
I was just gonna make a motion that we send a letter to Red Deer County stating that we have no concerns with their policy amendment.
Okay. No questions or concerns to that? Okay, all those in favor? It's carried, thank you. Old business, 10.1, McKay Hayton subdivision, did staff figure out what we were?
I think I do remember.
Okay,
I believe that we wrote a letter to the town about that offsite levy that they had not charged on those lots. Have we heard anything back from them?
no, I don't think we have yet, or have we?
Still a work in progress, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Go ahead, Mr. Stevens.
The developer reached out to me after our previous meeting and was he was a little concerned at the direction of the conversation. And he was quite adamant that that's not an issue. Send us an invoice for the levy and we'll pay it. No letters necessary, no argument. And
So we're talking about the 2 lots that sold, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and I don't think there's been a resolution to it yet, but I think it's still in the works. So, and I that's what I got to as well, is that there wasn't an issue to be dealt with. So.
And I think some of the confusion comes from the fact that the way the agreement was written, when those lots are sold the first time, is when it's due. But because the municipality wasn't notified, and I think there was confusion about what triggers this and when we would be sending a bill. We don't know that we're supposed to be sending a bill, and the developer isn't going to pay a bill that they didn't never receive. So
Yeah, no, I think it's all good. I don't think there's anything to worry about in that to help you understand where we went with that. That was, and in all case, an indication that I've heard, it's all just a matter of it'll work itself through the due course.
Whenever we send a letter from this,
Office here, it's nice to be able to see a response to it.
Yeah, I don't think we've sent anything yet, have we?
Yeah.
Okay, that was an email?
Yeah, with a brief explanation and an invoice.
Yeah, so in future, maybe if staff could, administration send, just CC council when we are the ones directing that. So. Good. Any other questions or concerns? Good. In camera. Mr. McKay would like to take this in. All those in favor? You're in favor. Thank you. Nothing that we have to make a motion on, so next meeting is, we'll do that after. Because I don't know if we're doing it in any kind of presentation, are we, or do you just take a picture?
Technically, it's supposed to be on camera, but Yvette's not here, so I'm not hard working.
Yvette, are you coming to the chambers?
Sure, I can.
Okay, please and thank you. Then we are going to do, typically this would be done in the council, but Mr. Les Stolberg received his 15-year pen, so we brought him in a cake from the county. So Yvette is going to, I don't know what she's going to do. Yeah, she's going to smash it into your face, so.
You have to get the cameras out.
You'll have to, you kind of stretch out that.
Yeah, it's gonna, you know, it's been a wonderful time working with Mr. Stolberg over the many years I've got to know him. I've got to hurry a bit, walk fast.
She might have another injury.
Coffee and have your cake.
We'll take a quick comfort break for this presentation.
Congratulations, Councilor Stolberg, for 15 years.
Hold on, are we up and
The
running?
county of Stettler. And he was honored last week at the RMA convention in Edmonton. So congratulations, Councilor Stolberg.
Thank you.
Small wins, small wins. We gotta
Hey,
celebrate.
Canada, Michelle lost the Canada or something.
Somebody, how about Michelle?
Okay, so we're gonna take a quick motion to adjourn, and then we can eat cake. Mr. Grover, all those in favor?